Hello, been a while. I've been putting off making another podcast, so much going on. And I don't know that I'm going to cover everything that has happened since the last time, but there is a lot going on each and every day. And if you're paying attention to the news, the updates, then you know what's happening in this country. And I hope, in the name of God, that you're watching it somewhere besides Fox News. Because I'm telling you, if you are, you do not know what's going on in this country. You do not know what Donald Trump and his cabinet and J.D. Vance and these bunch of idiots are doing in this country. You need to pay attention to Fox. And if it offends you that I refer to them as idiots, then I don't know how you can look at it yourself and walk away and not feel the same way. I am so sorry. The whole world feels the way I'm feeling right now about this man and his cabinet and this MAGA crowd that is taking us over and leading us down a road to a destination to which I do not believe the majority of the people in this country want to go. The name of my podcast today, and I don't usually just come out and tell you the name of it, but the name of it, the title I'm putting to it, is In the Name of All We Once Considered Holy. That's it. In the name of all we once considered holy. Did not think about it. Did not think we would have to think about it. But now we have to say, in the name of all we once considered holy. Just trying to cover quickly, not too quickly, but I want to get to everything. The January 6th pardons. Americans, what are we doing? And so many of you are so on board with this kind of thing. What are we doing? It does not make sense. It doesn't make these thugs, no matter how you feel about it, does not make these thugs pro-America, because that's exactly what they are not. They are not pro-American. They tried to overthrow the United States government under the leadership of Donald Trump. And now all of MAGA is saying, just a day in the park, watch something besides Fox. Watch many. Watch something else. When we go on blindly and we think these traitors and others rip this country, as we watch them do this, rip this country to shreds right before our misled and deceived eyes. And I am concerned at all times when I hear people say something like, well, no matter what side of the aisle you're on, you got to, like J.D. Vance, you got to admire him for the way he came up. No, I do not admire J.D. Vance. He is a fascist. He's a liar. He said he was a liar, not in so many words, but he said he lied, and he did so to get his point across in politics, to gain a step ahead of someone else, trying to regain the dignity that he thought he had and lost. And undoubtedly, now there are so many of you out there saying, well, he does have dignity, well, he doesn't. I'll say it to the end of time. J.D. Vance, Donald Trump, none of these people, they do have something, but it is not dignity. They have a desire in their hearts to turn this country into a fascist regime. Yes, I'm saying it. I don't care anymore about how you feel. If you're one of my subscribers, you can't take it. Well, you know what to do. I want you. I want you to listen. I want you to share. But I can't hold back. Donald Trump, and I didn't coin this because I'm assuming Ben Meiselas did, but exactly right. Donald Trump, not just Donald Trump, but all of that group, they're weapons of mass distraction. Other D's, weapons of mass deception, weapons of deceit. And they do it collectively, and they do it in mass. And all over the country, people are just not bothering to check. They just believe what comes out of this man's mouth, out of J.D. Vance when he says something. All of MAGA, because you pay no attention to what's going on. You turn your TV sets or whatever, however you gather the news, to Fox News, who are so anti-American, so anti-democracy. It's beyond me how people still believe in what they say. They paid out millions of dollars for the lies that they admitted to. And here they are still dictating policy, in my opinion, in the minds of men and women who will not see the truth of this regime, this fascist regime. I'm really upset about these pardons. These people are not guilty of crimes that they should have had a 6-month sentence. No, these people tried to overthrow the government. They should spend the rest of their natural life in prison, so they will not try it again. And as you've known, you see they're true to their character. Many of them are already back in jail, have been arrested, because they're thugs. They tried to overthrow this country. Can you not get that in your mind? I had a cousin ask me, do you think that Donald Trump was the cause of the January 6th attempt, a coup, or whatever he said? And it's unbelievable to me that you even have to ask how I feel, especially if you saw it. And I saw it hundreds of times, many different ways. Of course, I don't believe it. I know it. And everybody with any good sense knows it. All right, enough about these prisoners that once prisoners, convicts, they're out walking around afraid to do anything they want to do. And with pardons, they can go out and get a gun. But that's okay. That's where this fascist regime wants it to go. Until they take your guns, and they will take the guns. You can believe that or not. They're going to take your guns one day. That's where it's going. That's what Project 2025 has to depend on eventually, to take your gun. Those people that said they'll take my gun and when they rip it out of my cold dead hands, well, I'm going to tell you, if you do not think that's coming, then you have not paid attention to me, and you have not paid attention to Project 2025, and you have not paid attention to what they're saying and what they're doing right now. They're going to get your guns eventually. I had a little argument with my brother one time. He come walking in the door and said, talking about the Democrats, I'm just afraid they're going to take my rights. And I told him, I said, I knew what he was talking about. He was talking about guns. And I told him, I said, if that happens, it's going to be under the Republicans. Oh, I don't think so. Like he knows a lot. Well, here we are. Here we are. It couldn't happen under the Democrats, but it can happen under the Republicans. Unless we turn things around, it's going to happen. And that's the least of my worries right now. Will they come get your gun or not? Come get mine. I have a gun myself. But moving on from these treasonous convicts, Panama. Absolutely ridiculous. To stir up the kind of trouble Donald Trump has stirred up with just opening his big lying mouth with Panama. We do not need Panama. We do not need to control the Panama Canal. They're doing just fine and have done so for a while. We had an agreement with them years and years ago, and that's what agreements are about between countries. One country lives up to their agreement as well as the other. And the very idea that I will not rule out military when it comes to taking Panama if we have to. Careless talk. I don't care how small a little war, a little battle is. Men die. Women die. Children die. Over what? Some crazed notion of a crazed man who has absolutely gone insane. And Greenland. Greenland is Denmark. Denmark is EU, European Union. What is European Union? That is Europe. Some of our greatest allies in Europe and have been for years. The members of NATO, just along with us. And now they're all, if you're paying attention, if you're watching news other than Fox News, you know that every country has risen up against us, making bold talk. And Canada, beefing up their military. It is absolutely unfathomable to think that we're here in this position all because of some asshole who knows nothing about government, nothing about politics, knows nothing about love, knows nothing about sensibility, knows nothing about negotiations or anything else. He just wants what he wants. He is a power-hungry little boy. And he may get us into a war because I want that. I want that to be mine. And then you got Jesse Waters out there. If you don't think people are going along, Jesse Waters says, "Oh, talking about taking Greenland." Said, "Oh, this is America I dream of. What a time to be alive! What a great time to be alive." How long will we allow men, and I use that term men, especially in Jesse Waters' case, because I know some say that he's gay. There's a possibility he's gay. Not that there's anything wrong with it. To use Jerry Seinfeld line on his television program. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but he seems to make a big deal out of it. Everything he talks about seems to refer to how much he is not gay, and in Hamlet, the line that me thinks she does protested too much. I think Jesse Waters protested too much. But if you're gay, Jesse, it's okay. We don't care. What we do care about, though, is your stupidity, your ignorance, your insensitivity, your cowardice. It is your desire to cuddle with Donald Trump, the most horrifically insane, filthy human being ever to grace Washington, D.C. It is your desire to cuddle with that nothingness that matters to us. You're a dangerous man, and I wish I had the power to remove you not only from television, but from America. You're a disgrace to all Americans, Jesse Waters, and you have plenty of company that could go along with you. Maybe we can see them all get up one day together and go where they can be happy instead of destroying the happiness of everybody else. And then this Elon Musk, President Elon Musk. Yeah, I have to call him president. He's absolutely more powerful in many ways than Donald Trump. Donald Trump is just a whipping boy many times. Elon Musk is, and he can stand there and he can make the Heil Hitler sign gesture, and people will say, well, he wasn't doing that. He was doing so and so and doing this and that. But he was making. But let me tell you again. Watch something besides Fox News. They will not give you the truth. As I said before, the F in Fox stands for fiction. And yes, he was making a Heil Hitler sign, and I don't only just say it because what I saw him do it, and I've watched it over and over again. I have watched the film of the 1930s and 1940s Germany, and I've seen it, and it's identical. But besides that, Elon Musk is supporting big time, money-wise, the largest, most dysfunctional group of neo-Nazis in Germany as we speak. He has made no attempt at hiding his like for Adolf Hitler or the Nazi movement, the Third Reich, and all that kind of thing. And then this episode with Bishop Marian Edgar Budd, one of the most remarkable women in religion today, certainly one of the most courageous. And she served the family of Donald Trump and Donald Trump himself a little dose of what Christianity and what being a Christian is all about. And what she says is true. What she told Donald Trump and his family is absolutely true. She gave them a dose of the Bible regarding Christianity that Donald Trump, the Bible that Donald Trump holds and says he has many of them in his home. And it's his favorite book. But what did he do? He goes out and he starts talking about the service, that it wasn't very good. What did you think? I wish you'd have asked me that question. I'd like to tell him to his face that I thought it was great. And then what does he do? He retreats like a little boy, like, Mommy, did you hear what she said about me? Did you hear all the bad things they said? Yes, Donald Trump is a baby, a little boy, like I've referred to before as a little boy that got mad at the baseball goes in and said, all right, I'm taking my ball and going home. That is the man that has his finger on the nuclear weaponry of this powerful country right now. So I say all that to go to this. The question which has meandered into a worldwide philosophical question is thus: how did anyone who lived through the first term of Donald Trump rationalize voting for him, period, or again? And secondly, about those who in great numbers are wanting their vote back. As I said, I'm tired of hearing it. They want their vote back. Now, the question is, what do they know now about this asshole that they didn't or could have known on November the 5th and before? In 1930s and 1940s Germany, Adolf Hitler came onto the scene. He tried an attempt to overthrow the government, and it failed. He even went to prison for a little while for it, but came out stronger than ever. He started gathering up the money people to back him. And when he had the money, when he had those powerful people in Germany already, and other places too, he began to make other moves. He got a little bit in charge, a little bit at the time. They shut down communication so one couldn't deal with the other or know what was going on. One hand didn't know what the other hand was doing. And it was all out there when he got control, when he got the power, when he got what he wanted. And everyone was supposed to let the powers that be know those who were against him or said anything against him. It was against the law if they found out that you held something back. And it certainly was against the law if you said something against them, and most of the time it ended in death. You started wanting a little piece of land over here and a little piece of land over there, and eventually turned into a full-blown world war when he decided that all these other little pieces of land were enough, so he was going to take Poland, then he was going to take the Soviet Union, and we all know what happened there. Does any of that sound familiar? Some of the latest instructions from Donald Trump is, you better let us know if somebody's talking against us. We're going to punish those who stood against us. We're going to punish those who do not believe the same way we believe. And he just doesn't have followers. He had what Adolf Hitler had, sycophants. Sycophants. They would do anything for Hitler he wanted them to do. Thus is the case here with Donald Trump. There is no doubt in my mind that Lauren Boebert or Marjorie Taylor Greene or Ted Cruz or Lindsey Graham, Nancy Mace would do anything, and when I say anything, I mean anything, that this monster told them to do. That's the way it was in Germany, 1930, late 1930s, 1940s. In the name of all that is holy. My wife and I watched a movie the other day, an old classic, an Alfred Hitchcock movie. Most of you will know what I'm talking about. It's called The Birds. If you watch this movie for the first time, it would start out and you would think, well, this is a love story. This is a budding romance about to take place here. You know, the boy meets girl, girl meets boy. The little tussles they have about, so that one didn't want to admit to the other that they cared about the other, and then it kind of come together like a love story. And the families got together and all this kind of thing, like a love story. And all of a sudden, a bird attacks the star of the movie, the female star. Just out of the blue, a bird attacks this female star. And nobody could believe that it actually did that because they don't do that. It's not the way they do. And then all of a sudden there were more attacks. And then there were houses being crashed by these birds, and there were people being killed by these birds. And there were people who were in disbelief, said, y'all, we didn't see it, so we don't really know what's happening. Then all of a sudden it all crashed in, and everybody knew that something was definitely awry. And in one of the scenes in the movie, after everything was happening, with these birds attacking and killing people, one man yells out, "It's the end of the world." And at the end of the movie, no words of explanation. The loving couple drive off. And then you see the end. A lot of people concerned because what made these birds do that? That's not the point of the birds. That's not what Alfred Hitchcock was trying to talk about. The birds were incidental. What this movie was about and what Alfred Hitchcock is trying to say is what happens when everything that you hold dear to your lives, everything that you consider holy, is going up in smoke because of an incident that should never happen. That's so out there that you would never dream that it could happen, but it interrupted your day and then it interrupted your life and your world. Such an occurrence that takes place and how people would react in ordinary circumstances when nothing's wrong, and then all of a sudden everything is wrong. And the reaction of people. That's kind of the way I feel now. And talking to many, many people, that's the way they feel. I even heard someone say, sometimes I think it's the end of the world. But I'm saying to you, it's not the end of the world. Possibility may be an end of the world as we know it. The United States as we know it. But I'm still saying and holding on to this idea it doesn't have to be. Turn off Fox News. Pay attention to what's going on. Turn over to Matthew 25 in your Bible and read the whole chapter, especially the very end of it. If you're a Christian, you're not a Christian. It tells you what a good person is supposed to do, how governments are supposed to be, how we are supposed to treat each other. Those things are obscure right now because of the blasphemy, because of the fascism, because of the cruelty, and because of the ignorance of Donald Trump and the ignorance of those sycophants that follow him. I really wish you would subscribe to my podcast. If you're on TikTok, this might be the first time you've seen me there, but I'm moving over to TikTok as well. Like me or do not like me, I do care, but it won't weigh in my determination of what I'm going to do and say. Turn off Fox. They're evil, and they will not tell you the truth. I'll tell you the truth, and I'll tell you this. If it comes to it, I can back up whatever I say to you, or I would not say it. And there are several out there like that would say the same thing, and it's true. Tennessee Rambo, any of those, Texas Paul. You want the truth? Listen to these people. Listen to the Midas Touch Network. Independent networks that are out there knowing what's going on and seeing and showing and showing you the receipts. They're out there. You have to discover that. And I hope you will. And that's where my thought that I have not given up comes from. And it doesn't have to be the end of the United States of America as we know it. It will be, as it's always been, up to the masses. As Jesse Dollimore says, another one you can listen to, as he always says, sorry, Jesse, take care of yourselves and one another. I'm saying it because I like that line so much. And I appreciate Jesse. That's what we got to do. Take Matthew 25, those last verses. See how far off we are right now. There's a way that we can live it. But like I said, it'll be up to the masses, up to you and me and everybody else. You keep America, the United States of America, as we've known it. I love this country. I love the people. But some things are going to have to change, and they're going to have to change quickly. If you will, subscribe to my podcast. I hope that you will give me a like. If you give me a dislike, that'll be okay too. This is your world. This is your country. That's what America is all about. But it's not about deceiving. It's not about destroying. It's about the rights of individuals and the love we should have toward one another. I hope you have a great week ahead. Like I say, I love you all, and I'll see you on the next roundup.